Hi everybody, it's Stefan from EDC Austria and we are at the second part of our prepping series. Today we are talking about food and food storage. So let's begin with the so-called regular food. So let's first talk about how much you should store or for how long. Basically, the government say 3 to 10 days, but let's be honest, if there's a really bad winter and at the same time the gas breaks down, electricity breaks down, whatever, it could be way longer than that. So I myself plan for 2 to 3 months for 2 persons. There are also crazies in the other direction. A German prepper guy who I respected highly said 6 months because you can't grow food in your garden in the winter. But if you can grow food in your garden, then there is no emergency. If there was a nuclear accident or enemy troops or whatever, you couldn't be in your gardening. So, and if after 2 months stuff doesn't get better, I think it's time to, as they say, vacate the premises. No matter how much you like it at home. All the things you see here can be obtained at a normal store, any convenience store, except for these here. These are either called ship's bread or these are just called Dauerbrot, which means constant bread. Although even though they are meant for prolonged use, they also only have a best before, which is 2 years. So these are all 1 pound. I think I've 30 or so of them, but I too have to cycle through them at some point, because those are the things, all that you see here, that you have in stock, not in the kitchen, but you check, you routinely check and see, okay, which one doesn't go bad for another year. Okay, this is 6 months, I need to cook this now. Like this is Käsespätzle, that's another form, kind of basically mac and cheese. This one goes to 2017. I've noticed usually if you buy anything in cans, like this soup here, regular cans go for 2 years from purchase date. No matter what, except I didn't check the tuna yet. This one goes to 2020, so the tuna goes for 4 years. Same goes with these strange German sausages I bought. They also go till 2020, but the normal rule is, at least to the manufacturer, according to them it's 2 years. Same with these highly interesting pulled pork and jalapeno, whatever this is. It's high protein, it's 20 grams of protein and you need about 80 grams. Then of course you can never have enough real macaroni and cheese, which I actually have to import from the United States, because Kraft, even though they are very present here, don't sell them here. And well, and I actually noticed I have to finish 4 packs by the end of the year. so that'll be manageable. And if you buy stuff like rice, which is highly advisable, because this lasts also 2 years, but it fills the stomach well and gives you a good amount of calories. You should at least get 1500 calories, but better would be in the range of 2000 to 2200. If you're mostly staying in the apartment, which is likely what will happen with a natural disaster, you'll be content with 2000 calories a day. I show you a way then later how this is very manageable and very expensive, unless your insurance pays it, as they do in my case. Yeah, then you have some Heinz beans, they also go for 2 years. And of course, soups. As you might have noticed, some of these things require water and the ability to cook. Let's not forget about that, because this will come into play later. Now we are going to the foods that aren't available in the stores. So, hello, welcome. We are back with the foods you can store for a long time without having to worry about them. Here, that's from a German company called Fedek Dauerwaren, which means the name Fedek and kind of constant food, meaning it lasts for... This goes till 2027, so for another 11 years, and then I wouldn't worry. This is beef stroganoff with rice, chicken curry, noodles with bolognese sauce, well, this kind of stuff. But I have to warn you, those things cost 5 to 6 euros a piece, so, and they only get you about 400 calories, so that's quite expensive. If you have the capability to cook, it would be good to mix it with some rice and have bread in the morning, and in the evening some of your fruits that you conserved, which I, by the way, forgot to show you in the earlier part of the video. But like I said, I mean, I have about, well, I don't want to tell you, but I have very many of those for a hell of a lot of money. And I sure hope I'll never need to use them. But I tasted a few and they are actually quite good. And if it came to it, you even could eat it cold. And another good thing about them is you can heat them up without requiring any water. Which brings me to my next thing, which are basically biscuits, which also go for 10 years. It's basically wheat, salt, yeah, the usual that gets in those rations. Wait, well, the whole thing is also 433 kilojoule. No, it says per 100 grams. How much is this whole thing? Sorry, I'm a bit... yeah, this is 125 grams. So basically with one of those, which are not even that hard, because I've seen others and tasted others, which you can also only consume if you have milk or water, and milk you won't have for long. But those bring you about 500 calories, and like I said, you need about 2000 a day. They go for 10 years too. Those, there are different ones of those. Those are travel lunch. You just add hot water to them, basically. They are, in this case, these are, noodles with chicken. Yeah, noodles with chicken. What else do I have? Curry chicken. I have a lot of chicken now that I look at it. And this is pasta with cheese sauce. They go for about $7 a piece, and they last till 2020. And here you only need to open. You only also you can even make it in this pouch. Just open it, fold it open, put water in it and heat it up, or put it in a pan. But you need water, anyway to live and to make rice, because you can't store so many containers. And then of course there are the typical food rations, emergency food ration. Ingredients: baked wheat, vegetable fat, sugar, vegetable protein, malt, vitamins and minerals. This one, the whole pack, is 250 grams, and the total package gives you 1150 kilocalories. So that's about half of what you need a day. But if this is the only thing you eat on a day, I mean 2 of those, you'd be sick. You can eat this for breakfast, but you still need to balance your meal. Even in an emergency situation, you need to go through your food kind of strategically. This is a very similar product, but there's one more I wanted to show, because this is more of a milk substitute that you can also use, which is good for small kids or for yourself to get kind of a better taste. I was initially keeping that stuff in my bug out bag, but I soon realized, why should I take the worst tasting stuff? When I'll take something that'll go bad in 6 months, because the bug out bag is only meant for the duration until I reach my bug out location. But these are the things that you can put away and that last for basically forever. And that's pretty much the only stuff. Although these days more and more companies try to make stuff last longer, because the market for stuff like this has grown immensely, with crazy people like me buying up everything. Okay, we'll be right back. I mean, we won't go anywhere, but we'll be right back with my liquid food solution. See you then. So here we are. This is called Fresubin 2 kcal, which means it has 2 kilocalories per 1 milliliter, meaning one 200 milliliter bottle has 400 calories, meaning with 4 of the bottles you already are at 1600 calories, And with 5, if you can afford it, you are at 2000 kilocalories, which is what you basically need every day. And there's so much stuff in there, like 20 grams of protein per bottle. And that means if you drink 4, you have what they recommend for an adult, namely 80 grams. I came through this when they took out most of my stomach, and this was the only thing I could eat for over a year. So that's why I know they also have this from Nestle, because I often buy them on the internet, on Amazon, because a 6-pack, meaning four bottles times 6 is about 50 euros. So 50 through 6 is about 8 euro. A pack is about 2 euro per bottle, which isn't a lot if you consider that it's 400 kilocalories and that you basically could live off 8 euros a day. And those go for a pretty long time. I mean, that's the problem. I constantly eat them. They usually go for about a year and after you buy them. So you would to cycle them out, so you need to cycle them. But if you only want to keep them for emergencies, you kind of have a problem. But this is my secret trick, because you'll see photos of my storage of this stuff and it keeps constantly cycled, because I still have to eat 3 or 4 a day, because I can take any proteins or vitamins or anything from natural food, or almost nothing. I eat normal food mostly for the taste. I get all my nutrition from these things. This was my secret tip. They have this in America called Soylent 2.0, trying to sell it as something that didn't exist before, except for the fact that this is milk-based, but doesn't contain any milk really, because you can keep it outside for as long as you want. No problems, but they taste best ice cold. I suggest you try it, because they taste like dessert. And if you like your sweet stuff, you might like it. If you have to eat it for a year straight, then you maybe don't want other sweets anymore, like me. But I got used to it. I like it a great deal. Next up, we'll discuss how we're gonna cook this shit. Stay tuned. So, welcome to part 4 of our food series. How am I gonna cook this? The answer is simple. If you live in a small apartment like me, you get one of those small cookers and get as many of these butane gas containers as you can afford, or rather as you have space for. I got, wait, that's not right. It's already falling apart on me. I got 2 different systems, just in case one of them happens to be no longer available, the gas I mean. This also looks a bit more sturdy, and you can also, this one you can even nicely adjust. I think I'll order 10 more of these. I only have like 30 or so. And of course, if you have a balcony, you could use other stuff, like this pocket cooker. Although one thing that I sadly forgot to mention until now is keep your prepping private. KPP. Keep prepping private. You don't want every one of your neighbors knowing this is the guy, this is the gal who have all the emergency food in case there is nothing. And you don't want them to band together and come to you and ask you for food. And if times get really desperate, they're not gonna ask. And if you're constantly out on your balcony cooking, they're gonna know something is up. Like I said, you need to plan for every possible contingency. And if it's a bad winter, then you don't wanna be out on your balcony anyway. And if it's a natural disaster like a nuclear disaster, you don't wanna be out. If it's riots, you don't wanna be out. And if you're bugging out, then it doesn't matter anyway. You just have to get clear of the buildings. But like I said, bugging out is only a last resort, but we will get into bugging out in the last few episodes. I hope this was informative for you. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask me in the comments. I'm sure I can help you out or get you in contact with someone who can help you out. And yeah, I guess that's it for today. Have a great day. Be prepared. If you like this program, please leave a like. And if you want to see the rest of the series and other stuff like knife reviews, like of this Zero Tolerance 0392 per Black WC, which is a good name to remember, then please subscribe. Have a great day. Bye bye.